What's up, everybody? Hope everybody had a great week. Hope you guys got to do what you needed to do. I know Fresh Out had a great week. We hit 200 motherfucking K. Fresh Out in the house. We got 200K subscribers, and we got a motherfucking winner. You know what I mean? We got a winner. We put it on Instagram, so for those of you who don't check Instagram, you guys got to subscribe to our Instagram so that you can stay up on game. But check out the Instagram. We got the winner, Richard Godinez Landeros. Richard Godinez Landeros, you are the winner of the motherfucking flat screen. So holler at us, man. We're going to give you a week to get at us. Shoot us an email at FreshOutSeries@gmail.com. Once again, shoot us an email at FreshOutSeries@gmail.com, and we'll make arrangements to get that TV out to you, man. Congratulations. Yeah, man, we're doing big things. We keeping our word with the old prison talks. We're going to kind of decide here in a little bit if we're going to continue to do the podcast, but right now, we're taking a little hiatus because we got a lot of shit going on, so we can't do too many things at once. So we're going to focus on the prison talks, the interviews, and bringing you guys some dope-ass apparel. You know, we're trying to focus on those things and also working on, keeping you guys tuned in on the website. If you haven't subscribed to the website, make sure you do so. But we have... when you subscribe, you basically register to list your playlist. And I have a couple playlists already up there. If you haven't got a chance to check it out. But I have a couple other playlists going down, and you guys can add to that playlist. We'd like to hear what you guys are, interested in listening to. And also, if you have a story you want to tell and you're local to LA or California, holler at us. FreshOutSeries@gmail.com. Shout out to Aubrey Black, who's been doing big things with us with the clothing. If you guys haven't got a chance to check out her modeling our clothing, go to our Instagram and our Twitter, Fresh Out Series, and see Aubrey Black representing Fresh Out. So she's got the wig splitter on, she got the hats on, she got the socks on. She's representing. And, like I said, we're trying to bring you guys some dope-ass apparel. We're staying on top of our marketing game with you guys, putting out a lot of cool content. We just dropped Prison Talk Monday. We're going to drop another one tomorrow and another one Friday. So make sure you guys tune in. Also, the slides and the shoes will be going off pre-sale within the next couple of days. So if you're trying to get them at the player price, the shoes and the slides, go ahead and put your order in so we can lock you in. But that's going to be going down. We're going to be ending pre-sale this weekend, and we're going to be, getting ready to get everybody's stuff together so we can ship it out. So you guys hopefully check out the shoes and the slides. Let us know what you think. And man, life is good. It's all about the hustle. I stay talking about positive shit. If you guys tune into my other YouTube, Big Herc 916, dropping jewels on y'all. Trying to keep everything conducive to success. Also, we're going to have the workout book by Big Herc coming out on our website. You'll be able to download it. So look for the workout book. It'll be real soon. So subscribe so you guys can be, we can send you an email when we get it finished. So we're editing right now, but resistance responsive training. You guys can get your prison swole on. And, basically, learn how to work out properly. Get some basic nutrition tips, and it's very informative. So make sure you guys subscribe to the website, FreshOutSeries.com, and that way you guys can be up on all the stuff we have going on. Shout out to Coheed Consumer 13. Thank you for the $2, man. So, want to get into some questions, see what you guys got on your mind. Somebody said, Big Herc, how do you beat up a bigger guy who's talking smack behind your back? Is it a lock and sock option? Hey, man, I don't want you to catch no cases, so do what you got to do. But Don't get caught up. You know what I'm saying? You don't want to get caught up on no bullshit. So, yeah, man, you got to be smart. Too many people with cameras these days. You don't want to catch a case over something stupid. So, yeah, looking forward to the book. Yeah, the book's gonna be going down. And if you I got another book. If you guys haven't got a chance to check that out, Bedroom Gangster. It's on Amazon. Some dope shit. If you want to read it to your girl, get the coochie wet. Get a copy of that. Bedroom Gangster ain't no joke. If you go to prison, can you learn how to fight better, Big Herc? Can you reply, please? You're not going to learn how to fight in prison. By the time you go to prison, you should already know how to fight. You know what I'm saying? So you don't want prison to be your teacher when it comes to fighting. You got to be a little smarter than that. You know what I mean? What happens if a guy, what did he say? What happens if a guy who is in life splits a prison guard's wig? Nothing. He already has life. You know what I'm saying? So there was a guy at Rampart USP when I was there. And basically, this guy, right before I got there, I guess he said, fuck the guards and fuck life. And he came out of the chow halls with 2 shanks strapped to either hand and basically just went off. He killed a guard and they ended up killing the dude. You know what I mean? He wouldn't stop. He was just stabbing everybody. So, motherfucker with life, man, you got to watch how you carry yourself because they ain't got nothing to lose. And a lot of time, those guys they'll just go out. They don't give a fuck. Big Herc. Somebody said, you said, is man cheeks different than female cheeks? You tell me if you're the cheek bandit. Joe Smith, thanks for the $5. Corvette Stingrays or Dodge Viper? The new Corvette ZR1, hands down. The mid-engine's going to kill the game, man. Ferrari and motherfucking Lambo owners is going to be duck and wreck. So I would go for the new Corvette ZR1 and call it a day. Otherwise, get a Dodge Viper ACR. It's going to be a collector. Gary Paredes, thank you for the $5, homie. Big Herc. Somebody said, Big Herc, how to motivate yourself when you're depressed and all seems pointless. Man, if you're depressed and you think life is hopeless, man, basically, you need to just get off your ass. There's nothing I can tell you, man. I mean, fuck, if you're free, you're not locked up, you walk around depressed, what are you tripping off of? There's pussy, there's money to be made, you can travel. I mean, if you're not, like, homeless, fuck, you got a lot of options, man. I feel for the motherfuckers on the street when it's cold like this and these storms and shit, man, and, they're still trying to survive. So, if you have a place to live and you're healthy, man, you should be grateful, man. I don't know what to tell you, man. You can't, life. You got to change the way you look at life, man, and have some a reason for living. Otherwise you're just wasting away, man. Somebody said, Big Herc, how do I think prison will be in the future? With technology, it's hard to say, man. You know what I'm saying? With the things becoming, a lot of stuff becoming automated. And, I'm thinking they're going to have probably a lot of CO jobs is going to be left to computers. So a lot of things are going to change in that aspect. I'm fucking with this phone. I'm trying to get the Facebook live stream, but I can't get it to work. So excuse me for that. But, yeah, man. Somebody said, Big Herc, do I believe Tupac was murdered by the feds for being a pro-black who used his platform to wake up blacks? You know what, man? Tupac was running around doing a lot of shit that wasn't really conducive to living a long life. You know what I mean? He had got into the whole gangbanging shit, man, and was, running around with some dudes. And I think he just, got caught up, man. It's hard to say. I don't really know the details outside of what I've seen on all the documentaries about his murder. Um, what's your take on a death penalty? Is that justice in your eyes, regardless of the crime committed, or is it just? I think that the death penalty in certain situations is justified. If I couldn't get my hands on a motherfucker who did something to my family, I'd want him to get the death penalty. You know what I mean? The guy who killed that kid, made him eat cat feces and locked him in a closet and shot him with a BB gun, and the little dude died. Him and the mom deserve the death penalty. They're pieces of shit. You know what I mean? You don't do that to a little kid, man. So I think the death penalty was justified in that situation as far as those individuals, because they had no concern for the life of that kid, man. So, in certain situations, man, I think it's justified. Did I ever interact with a person on death row? No. Never interacted with anybody on death row. In the feds, you got motherfuckers doing life. They don't have a death row in the feds. You know what I mean? It's just, you're just in there for eternity. I'm saying please. Is saying please, thank you, and excuse me a good strategy in prison, or just make you look soft? You don't walk around apologizing, saying sorry, or you do say excuse me, or pardon me, or you might use some type of politeness or courtesy. But as far as you do, so a homie gives you a soup, hey man, thanks man. But you don't say please. Please is very submissive. You don't there's certain words you don't use that'll make you seem weak. So you got to be smart in that aspect. Sir Exodus, thank you for the 10, man. $10. How does one prepare for jail when he or she knows they would be placed into custody within a few months? Get your finances in order. Get you some type of passive income so that you don't have to worry about having money on your books. As far as everything else, man, mentally, you just gotta have a game plan. Go in there and have you a program. If you're gonna study, use that time wisely, man. Write a book. Study, learn something intellectual, so when you get out, you'll have that as a tool. You have a lot of free time. Don't be in there fucking off watching TV all day. Get your ass in shape, get your mind right, and just basically stick to yourself, man. Don't be in there socializing and shit, and know that you're just passing through. Somebody said, how much is a cell phone in prison? It all depends on where you're at. Where I was at, wasn't no cell phones. I was at a medium, but at the camps, they're cracking. And a lot of the other spots, in state, is cracking. I've had motherfuckers call me from the state on a cell phone, so I know it's cracking. It might be a homie hookup for $200 to, $300-$400, depending on the phone. You know what I mean? So, the phone shit is cracking up in there, man. It might even be more. Somebody said $1,500 and up. It just all depends on, who the hookup is through. I know a cat, he was selling phones in there wholesale. When he was in the state, he was telling me about it. He had a hookup with a guard, and he was balling. He was making a couple $1,000s a week selling phones. Big Herc, my brother gets out in June. He has been down since 1989. Damn. Thanks for what you do. Hey, man, shout out to him, man. Hopefully he can get out, get his mind right, stay out of trouble. All the help he can get, he's going to need it as far as support to adjust with the technology changes, because, man, that's a long time to be gone, man. Josh and Jesus, thanks for the $5. Hey, Herc, did you get my email about sticking with the podcast? You got the chops for it, man, and I think you're making a mistake by giving it up on it so fast. I got your email. We're going to still, like I said, we're going to come back to the podcast. We just got a lot of shit, man. We got some special stuff jumping off for the Patreon, Patreon fans, and we're working on putting that together. And we're trying to put together some epic shit as far as interviews. So give us a minute, man. But we're going to try to figure out how we can do both. But right now, we're on hiatus, and we will be going back to it eventually. Herc, how do you feel towards Cool C, 80s rapper who ended up killing a female cop in a bank robbery and getting a death sentence? Yeah, man, it's fucked up, man. Cool C, I remember the glamorous life, man. Damn. Dude, it's, you know what I mean? It's like, that's why anything could happen, man. When I caught my bank robbery, anything could have happened. And then, fuck, I would have been fucked. So, you know, I think it's fucked up, man. Shit happens, man. And you know, I don't know how to retribute that, man. I don't know how you give back to the family who lost a loved one. You know, I know a dude who got caught up in a bank robbery and fucking one of the guards, I think, got shot, and you know, they got away, and then one of the dudes told, and he's doing like 40 years, man. 40, 50 years. So when he won't get out till he's damn near 80 years old. It's fucked up, man. So, you know, the death penalty, man, it depends. If you're on death row, then of course you don't want the death penalty. But, you know, if you're doing heinous shit, man, the laws of the universe is going to catch up to you. That's all I can say, man. You know what I mean? The laws of the universe, it's like, it goes beyond anything I could say in the physical world. Herc, what's your thought on these chomos trying to claim being a pedo is a sexuality joining the LGBT movement? Man, fuck them. Them motherfucking chomos need their motherfucking lock and a sock upside their head. You know what I mean? Pieces of shit, man. You touching on kids, you need your motherfucking dick cut off, man. You're a piece of shit. You know what I mean? That's out of pocket, man. There's no justification for that. And ain't no sexual fucking illness. You're a fucking sick fuck, man. You gotta learn how to control that shit. Ain't no excuses for it. That shit is unjustified, man. Volunteer in the community. I already do. Somebody on Instagram said volunteer in the community. I do speaking at schools. I spoke at a school in Pomona for troubled youth. I'm gonna be speaking at Locke High School for Career Day. I spoke at USC. I speak to kids, man. I do my part. So for those of you out there who can become a mentor, you guys need to do your part and help these kids out here because they need all the help they can get. How do you feel about Nipsey? I think Nipsey's a beast, man. I watch Nipsey on YouTube. He's a motherfucking hustler. He came from 60s. You know, he's representing, man. He's got businesses going on. He's invested in cryptocurrencies. He's international with his business. Nipsey's a motherfucking beast, man. I think his business model is on point. He's independent. He owns his masters. A lot of these rappers need to take lessons from Nipsey. You know? How are Jewish prisoners treated in our country's prisons, in your experience? The Jews, man, you don't see a lot of Jews in prison. I mean, you got guys who might do the culture meals, and you got a handful here and there that did like fraud. Most of the Jews guys is robbing people in the corporate world. You know what I mean? That's what they go to prison for. They're not robbing banks. They're doing corporate fraud, embezzlement, or laundering money or something to that extent. You know, but or running a Ponzi scheme. But you know, treat like anybody else in the feds. I don't know about the state, man. But in the feds, they teach in real estate classes, business classes. They in there hustling, you know. Josh and Jesus, thanks for another $10. Herc, I am your age and can't figure out how you are able to work out late at night like you do and sometimes party like you do. I can't work out after 5. How do you do all that? My age shows, man. You know, I try to, I got a lot of energy, man. I feel that sometimes when I think I'm tired, it's only in my head because, you know, I have so much, I think about all the time that I had in prison that I wasn't able to do the things that I want to do. So I almost feel like I missed out on a lot of shit. So if I don't work out, I feel like I'm doing myself a disservice. So a lot of it's mental, you know what I mean? And I just go, you know what I mean? I'd be dead tired sometimes, but I just go. Like today I already worked out. I might go fuck around and do a little bit more cardio in the garage, but that's about it, man. Big Herc, if you were in charge of prison housing unit and you were a CO, how would you run it? What would your policies and procedures be? Food, behavior, programs, a whole lot. It's a lot. That's a big-ass question, man. I would never want to work in a prison, first off. I can't To me, prison, jail, I know it's for, they say here is for punishment. In Europe is for rehabilitation. In China it's punishment. But I can never work in a prison, man. It's slavery, man. And I don't want to be around people who have got caught up in society by making mistakes. People say, oh, well, yeah, man, sometimes you make a mistake and then you realize it, and then it's overkill because you learned your lesson after 3 or 4 years, but when you're in there for 15 years, it's fucked up. And I'm not talking about the chomos or the rapists. I'm talking about drug dealers, motherfuckers trying to get money, people who weren't doing heinous shit to other individuals. But, it's neither here or there. I don't want to say one criminal's better than the other, but I don't fuck with chomos or rapists. But as far as running a unit, the guards I've seen that run a unit tight, I just did a prison talk on it. They mind their business unless a motherfucker disrespects them or puts them on Front Street. You stay out the way, man. If you're there to get a paycheck, get a paycheck. But I would rather do a lot of other things besides working in prison to earn a living, man. I can't. It's sickening, man. I just hated every day of it, man. And then, there were some cool guards in there, but it's just, being in cages and locking it down at night like a fucking animal at the zoo. Fuck that, man. I don't even want to think about running a fucking, a prison. I don't want to think about that. If anything, offer some type of, maybe spiritual classes that get these guys to become more in tune with their emotions so that they're not as hard, they're not as criminalized, they're not as violent. I would implement programs to basically psychologically work with individuals to become more interactive in society and work on the racism in prison. Fucking racism in prison is ridiculous. Big Herc, have you read the book Rule by Secrecy? Man, it sounds familiar, but I don't think I've read it. You know what I mean? I can't recall. I've read a lot of books, man. So I can't remember that one right offhand though. Somebody said, Herc, have you thought about making a movie? Somebody said, hey, Big Herc, have you thought about making a movie based on your life? I think it would be great. Not really, man. I mean, my life, man, I wasn't like no kingpin. I wasn't I was just me, man. I was out here living life, fucking, being a gangster, robbing, carrying a strap. I was doing a bunch of gangster shit, but I wasn't no motherfucking, super gangster or nothing like that. When I hit that meal ticket, maybe I'll do an autobiography and show how I went from the hood to Hollywood and basically turned my life around, and which I've already done. But yeah, man, maybe down the road, I could tell the story on how I took my prison experience and made it into a motherfucking movie or into a series. Somebody said, Big Herc, did you vote? No, I didn't vote. Have I ever read The Art of Mackin'? Yeah, I've read The Art of Mackin'. I believe I read that book. Do the foot soldiers responsible for looking out for the shot callers, family members out on the streets? If you're in there, man, and you got dudes that you were cool with, then, what I'm saying, you look out for them. You know what I mean? You send money to them. If you're balling, you're doing a little better than the average person. You try to give back to the homies, man. You know what I mean? And that's just what you do. I had a few, when my partners was in there, I used to look out for them. And when they got out, I did, what I could to make sure they got on their feet and try to make sure they weren't struggling like I struggled. Joe Smith, thanks for the $5. How would a person with a background in wrestling fare in prison? I'm also 6'4", 210, trying to lose weight, gain muscle. Any tips? Joe, I'm going to have the book real quick, man. When we get finished the book, there's a lot of information in the book to kind of like answer your fitness questions. As far as wrestling, man, hopefully you don't have to do any of that bullshit. And, hopefully you don't go to prison, man. If you're not fucking off on the streets, don't fucking create the energy that you're going to go to prison and be fighting, because you'll do some stupid shit And somehow the laws of the universe will take you into prison because that's what you kept meditating on. Don't meditate on going to prison. First off. Number two, if you know how to fight or wrestle or karate, kickbox, MMA, if you get into it in prison, you should be able to break a motherfucker off. Because the average motherfucker in prison, he's not all that as a fighter. He just uses knives and he's been institutionalized. So, but at the same time, it's a bunch of other shit that comes with that. So, yeah, man. First time in county jail felt like a home. I've seen it all. Oh, okay. Big Herc, if you didn't do what you did when you was younger and you didn't go to prison, where would you be right now? Please let everyone know. Fuck, man. I don't know. I was a straight A student, man. I used to skateboard. I was designing shoes at 15, 16. I had a t-shirt company when I was 16. I would probably be right there with FUBU or something, man. I had a clothing company that was similar to that when I was in high school. So I'd probably be a millionaire, man, multi-millionaire by now. I would already have built multiple businesses. Probably went to a great college, but I didn't have no direction, man. I was antsy. I was overly anxious. I was just trying to find my way, man. I didn't have nobody telling me about different career choices outside of going to the military, which I wasn't about to go into the military at that point because I didn't want nobody telling me what to do. Not to say there's anything wrong with going into the military if that's an option, but for me, man, I just want to do more and I didn't know what I wanted to do or how I was going to do it. So I just did a bunch of dumb shit. I made bad choices, man, and who knows, man, but that's a question that really is like, it's like a paradox because I did what I did and without me having done that, I wouldn't be the person I am today. So I can't really knock it. Oh, Hammond, what's up, man? The shoes, we're cutting off pre-orders this weekend, and we'll be getting the shoes together to ship out. We'll probably be shipping the shoes the first part of next month. So once we get production, which is currently going on, it's just a matter of receiving the bulk, and then we're going to start distributing the shoes. So everybody, the people who've already ordered should have their shoes next month. You know what I mean? You guys will be flossing. We'll all be flossing in the Fresh Out Kicks next month. Kevin King, thanks for the $5. Big Herc, I'm going to do a 2-year bid for cyber fraud and a minimum. Should I immediately split a wig so they know I'm not down for to be fucked with? Nah, man. Get in there and mind your business. You're not going to have any issues, man. You lay low. Motherfuckers ain't going to know you even there. Don't floss too much. Don't talk about your business. Don't discuss your case. Just mind your business, man. You'll be all right when you go in there and focus on, educate yourself and staying out the way and don't get involved with bullshit and don't bust spreads with motherfuckers that you ain't cool with. Hello there, big fan. What's the youngest jail member you've seen? What was he in for? Oh, there were some little homies from Compton. They were in there for bank robbery. The same time I was in there for bank robbery. They got caught right before we did. Yeah, they were 18 years old, barely 18, man. So they were 18 at the time. I was 25. So they were probably the youngest dudes that were in the feds when I was there, So, yeah, man. Yeah, man. We're going to take care of you on the shoes, man. I'm excited for them too, man. Somebody said, hey, I have a question. When is mail call for a state, I sent my family a package. How long will they take to give it to them? Also, how much does it mean to get letters? He has 1 year left. Thanks, homie. Oh, man, letters are big, bro. Letters, man, mail in prison, man, it could either make or break you because, somebody, when people talk about being depressed, it's like, man, Jail is the ultimate depression. You got people in there doing a lot of time. You got people in there oppressing you. You got, individuals who are hating on you. You got so much negativity. It's just a fucking horrible environment, man. So when you get a letter and you know somebody on the street cares about you, it makes you want to do right. See, if nobody cares about you and you don't think that, there's any reason to get out and do good because you have nothing to get out to, you'll just say, fuck it. You'll stick a motherfucker. You'll take off. You'll fuck up, man. You know what I mean? Anything. You'll do anything because you don't care. So getting mail in prison is very, very important, man. It keeps you on track and keeps you in a direction that's going to be positive. And I don't know how long before he gets his package, man. And the state is different than the feds. We don't get packages in the feds. He didn't get packages when I was in there. You know what I mean? So, yeah, man. That's a little bit different. Andrew Adams, thanks for the $5, man. Dracula Forest, thank you for the $2. Chomo attack a girl. Would you ignore or help them? Chomo attack a girl. I'll split his wig. If I see a motherfucker fucking a girl up on the street, I'm gonna split his wig. I'm not gonna walk away. That ain't cool. If I see her and she actually says, "Hey, help me," because some bras, man, don't hurt him, that's my man. Well, then, why you with the motherfucker? But if I see a motherfucker trying to attack somebody, I'm not going to just keep driving by. I'm going to get out and put hands on the motherfucker. Somebody said, my homie Mario is locked up in Corcoran State Prison. Said he sent you a DM on Instagram. He wanted me to ask you about new dating app. Oh, yeah, I got at him. I got at the homie, man. I told him and shit that we put that on the back burner, but I told him a couple different apps he can get on because he was talking about, I think, getting in the porn game. So I was telling him to get on a couple of those apps out there, Plenty of Fish, you know what I mean? What is the other one? Bumble, whatever those other apps are, and knock him a couple females and, go ahead and build a stable up and start doing some webcam shit. The guy who split Jared Fogel's wig says that the guards are punishing him for doing that. What do you think, Big Herc? Hey, man, I know that the guards will, that a lot of times, because they try to, they got to, quote unquote, they protect certain motherfuckers in there, man. It's weird. But then when they got a booty bandit running around, they don't prosecute that motherfucker. You know what I mean? They let him take ass and whatever the case may be, like it's normal. So the Jared Fogle thing, man, I don't really know how to even justify it. I think he got what was coming to him. He's a fucking, the motherfucker was a chomo. So the guards, as far as the dude who split his wig, it's just they want to make it seem like they protect and that everything's equal, but it ain't, man. Some of these motherfucking chomos get way too much protection. I remember Steady B was with him. Yeah, he got 75 years, man. That was fucked up. They were out of Philly. What would you say to the guards at the prison you were at now, being in the free world? Would you be pissed at them? Nah, I wouldn't be pissed at them because I wouldn't even socialize with them. See, when you're on the street, man, you socialize with people of your caliber. And I'm not saying I'm better than anybody, but I'm not kicking it with COs on the street. I got a homie that I fuck with, Tony, Big Leaf, Superman, he was a CO, but he ain't on that time on the street. We used to train together and shit. Cool dude. But I wouldn't have no animosity to them. I mean, they were doing their job, man. I didn't really have any COs fucking with me like that when I was in there, so ain't no disrespect. But on the street, man, I'm just on different time. You know what I mean? You socialize with people that you have similar interests, so the odds of me running across a CO on the street be slim to none. If I seen one, I'd be like, whatever. I wouldn't have no animosity because I didn't really have any issues with COs when I was in prison. Stephen Curry, man, thanks for the $5, homie. Do prisoners get released with money? Yeah. You get money on your book. If you have money on your books, you can only have so much that they'll give you cash when you leave. And then I believe rest of you have to have sent out. So I forgot the amount it is, man, but I remember I had a couple $100 when I got out. And I have been sending money to the streets. So, that's what's up. Big Herc, real question here. My friend's getting out of the shoe in Pelican Bay after 5 years there and 17 total in prison. How can it help his transition in society? Man, hopefully he was up in there reading, man, studying, coming up with a business plan. And when he gets out, man, you could just support him on whatever he's trying to do. Hopefully he's got his mind right. Help him get his resources together, driver's license, social security card, help him, get whatever type of, basic necessities he needs, car to get to work, help finding a job, place to live, things like that. Just the basic necessities. Once you have your basic necessities, then you can focus on other things, trying to, enjoy life. But until you have those things, your life is in shambles because you don't know where you're going to be sleeping at. So, you want to get the basic necessities done first, Is the Fed really like Club Fed? Cable, racquetball, loose block procedures? Nah, man. It used to be like that. Back in the day, I heard before they had all the immigration shit, and they, before they had like a lot of the gang stuff going on, because before, a lot of guys for bank robbery would go to the state, and they only have certain cases that would go to the feds. And then it was like, man, a lot of drug dealers, a lot of mob guys, like, money laundering, corporate fraud, big shit. And then they, little by little, the state started dropping some cases, the feds start picking them up, and they start locking up a lot more of the guys who would have been in the state and the feds, and it changed the demographics of the feds. And so a lot of the federal institutions, they used to have like weights, bocce ball, all these different things. They got rid of a lot of that shit. And all the new federal institutions don't have no weights. They're very limited as far as what you have as far as recreational stuff. They may have like a game room, a CD room or something like that, but a lot of the stuff is limited. They do have emailing. They do have music rooms still, art rooms and shit like that, but it's changed a whole lot. You know what I mean? Which is harder, federal or state? It depends on where you're at. You go to certain USPs, man, you get your fucking wig split in there as quick as you would in the state. State level 1, level 2, it might not be, it's still shit jumping off, but, it just depends on what kind of yard you're on. When's the gaming channel gonna start? Oh, man, I don't really have time for gaming. I'm too busy out doing other shit, man, hustling and trying to make a dollar. Big Herc, is okay to have a Chicano tattoos living in Europe? I mean, you're in Europe, man. I don't know why you would want to have whatever you think is artwork you're cool with, man. I mean, more power to you, but just know that certain things have meaning. And if you ever get caught up in an American situation, you might get your wig split for having the wrong thing on your skin. So, Big Herc, what are your thoughts on afterlife, spirituality, and religion? I'm very spiritual. I just did a video on spirituality on Big Herc 916 on YouTube. I'm going to drop tomorrow talking about praying. I used to pray all the time in prison, man. I used to pray I didn't have to split a motherfucking wig up in there, so I didn't catch more time and basically fuck off my opportunity to make myself a better person. So I was very spiritual. I didn't go to church. I didn't. I've read the Bible. I read parts of the Quran. I've read Buddhism, Hinduism. I've read a lot of things. I read part of the Talmud. I read a lot of things, but I'm a spiritual person, man. I don't claim any religion. Hey, man, we gotta get ready for the shout-outs. I forgot to do it last week, and it's about that time. So I want to go ahead and get the shout-outs in. And basically, man, if you guys, like I said, any other questions, hit us up on the website. Make sure you subscribe, FreshOutSeries.com. Send your questions in. I'll holler back if I can. No disrespect if I can't get to all the questions. Also, shoot us an email at FreshOutSeries@gmail.com. Shout outs. What are we talking about? Shout out to North Highlands, Sacramento, my hometown. Y'all motherfuckers wake up, man. Get that money. Shout out to Dallas, Texas, baby. Shout out to Chad Preston. Thanks for the $2. What do you think about the 23-1? Actually, it's more like maybe 42-2. I think it's fucked up. You know what I mean? It's meant to break a motherfucker, man. Yeah, somebody thought I split somebody's wig over touching a 6'8" cougar. You know it. Shout out to BC, Canada, Vancouver, Canada. Shout out to Denver, Colorado. Shout out to North Hollywood, 818. Shout out to Anaheim. Shout out to Stockholm, Sweden. Shout out to New Zealand. Shout out to Guam. Shout out to Boston. Shout out to Long Island. Shout out to San Diego. Shout out to San Pedro. Shout out to Antarctica. Shout out to Marietta, Georgia. Shout out to Chi-Town. Chi-Town got a great series on Showtime. Shout out to North Korea. Fuck, somebody put that up there. Shout out to Minneapolis, Chirac. Shout out to Toledo, Ohio. Shout out to Kansas City, Kansas. Shout out to Tucson. Shout out to U.S. Army. That's right, you guys are serving, man. Shout out to you, man. Got a lot of family members that was in the military. Shout out to Salinas. Shout out to Merced. Shout out to Fresno. Shout out to Somalia. Shout out to Pittsburgh. Shout out to Tehran, Iran. Shout out to Grand Forks. Shout out to Philly. Shout out to Long Beach. Shout out to 29th Street. That's right. Buffalo. Shout out to St. Louis, Missouri. Shout out to Richmond, Virginia. Shout out to Flint, Michigan. Shout out to Bakersfield. Shout out to Pontiac, Michigan. Shout out to Wilton, North Dakota. Shout out to D.C. Shout out to Bronx, New York. Shout out to SF, East Bay. Shout out to Jersey. Shout out to Stockton. Shout out to North Carolina, Hawaii, El Paso, Texas, U.S. Navy, Boulder, Colorado. Shout out to Wisconsin. Shout out to Akron, Ohio. Shout out to Long Beach, Memphis, Venezuela, Rhode Island. Shout out to Plano. Shout out to Siberia. Shout out to Santa Ana. Shout out to Puerto Rico. Shout out to Jeremiah Kinney for the $5. Thanks, man. Big Herc, have you watched Tom Zebra on YouTube and his interaction with the cops? Haven't watched it, man. I'll check it. I'll try to check it out, though. What is he using? UCC? Shout out to England, Hampshire. Shout out to Liberty City, Florida. Shout out to Fourth Wards. Shout out to San Diego. Hey, man, shout out to everybody, man. In North Korea, they said North Korea people can't all be bad. Yeah, because they got some fucked up shit going on, from what I understand. Never been there, though. But anyways, Baton Rouge, shout out to you. 18th Street, shout out to Akron, Ohio. Everybody, man. Hey, man, if you're out there, and shout out to the cats that said what's up to me at the Dub Show. There's some good people out there. To my Mexican brothers, to my black brothers, to my Asian brothers, to my white brothers. Shout out to all y'all. Peace and love, man. Let's get money. Let's network. You know what I mean? Invest. You know, look long term and be smart, man. Shout out to all y'all, man. Much love. Big Herc. I'm out, man. Tune in next week. 8 p.m. Tuesday is going down. And make sure you guys subscribe. Hey, man, thank you guys for putting us at 200K. We love y'all, man. Y'all been riding with us, and it's not going to stop. So make sure y'all subscribe and stay tuned. I'm out.